Hi, I'm Michelle Mullins from the Training and Behavior Education Department at PetSafe. Today I was privileged to sit down with Tenney Mudge, the inventor of the KeepSafe Collar. It was a great chance to talk with her about a special bond she had with an amazing dog and how a tragic collar accident inspired her to create a vitally important product.
I adopted Chinook from a very wonderful animal shelter, and Chinook and I were driving home, and it was in the cab of the pickup truck, and we came to a red light, and he's sitting beside me, and I'm sitting at the steering wheel, and I look at Chinook, and he looks at me, and I just heard the words, "My name is Chinook," and the light turned green, and on we went, and that's how we got his name. It was as easy as that. He was really a mighty friend. That's really kind of how I summarize. He was a mighty friend, and we did so much together. We had so many adventures over years of our lives together. You know, it's important to share. Collar accidents can happen so many different ways. You know, the number one accident is two dogs playing together and getting caught. In Chinook's case, what happened was that this was his collar. You can see he's even wearing it right here in this picture. And I stroked the underside of his neck, which he loved. Just he would stretch his neck up, and I stroked his neck. And in doing so, you know, my hands were on his collar, and I just felt, I wonder how safe is this collar? You know, that just came into my head. It's around the most vulnerable part of his neck. He's a big, active dog, and I just, you know, had that thought. And then, you know, I moved on into, you know, the rest of the day. And what happened for Chinook was that I live in a very rural area, very peaceful, serene area, and on a farm. And in Chinook's case, on the farm, a stick slid under his collar, and in his struggle to get free, the collar twisted. And even though he was a strong dog and he fought for his life, the collar would not break away. And I wasn't there to even try and save him. It's tough, you know, it's a really tough thing to accept for anyone who's lost a dog in a collar fatality or had a close call. I mean, people sometimes call 911. You know, it's just such a terrifying situation. And for Chinook, when Chinook died on that day, and he was, I buried him up on the hill looking out over the farm. On that same day, at that night, I felt that if truth be told, I saw the words and I read the sentence, if I build it, they will come. That if there wasn't a breakaway collar out there for dogs that would prevent this type of tragedy from happening, well, you know, in honor of Chinook, that I needed to do that. It was that commitment from day one. That led to just layers and layers of research. I had a wonderful opportunity to meet with an engineer who had a lot of expertise in this area of technology. And it took quite a long time to focus on the correct material that would both expand and allow the collar to release, but be reusable and allow the buckle to be able to be put back together again. And I remember just, you know, shaking in my knees because my next step was to take these prototypes and make appointments with veterinary hospitals, animal shelters, and other professionals in the field and share with them what this mission was all about. There had to be a way to have the collar be dual purpose in nature and not just a collar that you have on your dog for identification, but that when you want to walk your dog, you have to be able to override the breakaway buckle and simply hook into the double D-ring so the collar is secure. It has to do everything a conventional collar can do. The dog is wearing a collar so he looks like he belongs somewhere, which I feel is a safer choice than no collar. A dog wearing a collar, you know, running down the street looks like he belongs somewhere. I felt that in order for the collar to be taken seriously on the marketplace, it would need to be patented. So the breakaway collar was featuring the breakaway buckle. As you might be able to see, it says Chinook on it. So it's actually the Chinook breakaway buckle. Every KeepSafe collar and all our work is dedicated to all the dogs who have lost their lives in collar accident tragedies. We have report after report of people at home with their dogs and they suddenly hear something. And it doesn't sound quite like normal play behavior, but something's been amped up a notch. A person, hopefully more than one person if they're not home alone, is trying desperately to get the dogs apart. And it's horrific. There's such panic, there's such chaos. The dogs are snarling at each other. The collar becomes so tight against the one dog's neck that you can't fit a finger under it. You can't try to release a buckle. You can't get scissors or a knife under it. And then also, when people aren't there, one of the saddest things that I hear time and time again, people come home and they find one dog still caught in the other dog's collar, and that dog has died. It's the fact that we put something designed not to break around a vulnerable part of the dog is that it's just a roll of the dice. So many people have reached out and shared their story either via email, letter, or telephone. They're so traumatized that this happened to the dog they love, the dog they would do anything to care for the well-being of that dog. But yet, instead, the collar they put on them to keep them safe has taken their life or nearly took their life. That they want to know, what can I do? So we developed a terrific grassroots program called the KeepSafe Ambassador Program. Knowledgeable dog owners are given a supply of educational brochures to distribute to professionals in their area, veterinary clinics, dog trainers, animal shelters, to help educate others about dog collar safety. Until the day comes where everybody is aware that collar accidents can and do happen under the most normal and careful of circumstances. Driving home the message that collars are a necessary part of our dog's wardrobe. And so we're very excited to share that coming in October, we're going to be having the Collar Safety Awareness Week. And this is going to be a media program nationally that will help really add a whole lot more emphasis on the educational piece about collar safety across the country. The ambassadors, the stories from the ambassadors, the dogs they loved and cherished in their lives, every one of them that was taken too soon and so unnecessarily, just reinforced my passion that my mission, our mission, is to provide a high quality choice for dog collar safety to dogs everywhere. And today is hard for me to say, but it's the anniversary today of when Chinook was killed by his collar. And I'd say I am as passionate as ever from that moment when I saw those words that said, if I build it, they will come. This is a necessary product. As passionate as I was that day, as I am here today. And I think it really reinforces that you are where you're supposed to be. In honor of all the dogs, again, Chinook and all the beloved dogs that have lost their lives in collar accidents and had very close calls, the KeepSafe Collar is dedicated to them and their families, and all the ambassadors. They're just outstanding people knowledgeable about dog collar safety, and that is a huge part of our mission, is to do Collar Safety Awareness Week, just educate others about keeping their dogs collared safely.
Thank you for your time and for your interest in Tenney's story. We hope it will encourage you to spread awareness of collar accidents and the KeepSafe Collar for all the dogs we love.